Circe didn't Mark Richards call you?
He called me. Or he rest from that.
Yes. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I feel like I'm far back. Can I be a little closer?
Yeah.
Like, hi out there.
See, I felt that really quick. There's. Anyway.
One's good. There you go. I don't want to be on top of Mike. I think he'll be.
Now you're too close.
Mike's like, wait, you're in my space.
You're comfortable in the front row with a lectern in the back there.
Well, I'm very excited to see you all here for this mentoring workshop. I am Paula Whidden, and I am the president of Daybreak Santa Clarita. We are the only Toastmasters club that meets in the morning. We are achieving our goals, moving forward, and helping others before most people start their day. So I wanted to let you know that one of the things that we're passionate about our club is mentoring. We started a mentoring program when there were just pretty much 5 of us, and trying to figure out how to do it, and then little bit by little bit, as we read a lot of the Toastmaster information and we started asking people questions, we got to meet these wonderful folks. We got to meet Linnea and we got to meet Circe, who came in and said, hey, we want to help you with this mentoring. How can we help? And Linnea, being the DTM that she is, gave us great foundation, gave us great history. And Circe, being the driven force that she is, gave us a lot of energy and drive. And it's been very helpful, the things that they've brought into the club in addition to stuff we were already doing. A mentoring program is something that we do with every single one of our members. Every person who comes in, we don't ask them do they want to have a mentor. We tell them they're going to have a mentor. And we basically try to find the person that will work for them the best. And then we coach the mentor and the mentees to be the best they can possibly be, so that we hope they will go out and use the tools of Toastmasters to achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve. Now I want to let you know a little bit about this lovely lady. She joined Toastmasters in June of 2012. By August of that same year, she was the contest chair for the Division C, and then began an accelerated and exciting year and a half on a path to become the Distinguished Toastmaster. This is one of her big goals. She completed her Confident Communicator Manual in 4 months, and the Confident Leader Manual in 5. This was accomplished by listening to the ideas and encouragement of Linnea Millett. She is currently the president of Toastmasters for Leaders, vice president of education for Daybreak Santa Clarita. She's the vice president of education for the Golden Gavel and public relations officer for District 52. Mentoring has become a passion for her. She believes in the process of coaching others as it is done for her. She is currently participating in the mentoring program, and regularly, I might add, leads a mentoring process that we have every other week that we don't meet over at a local bakery. I would like to introduce to you Circe Denyer.
Circe,
Is going to be fun.
Circe, what level did Daybreak end the year at? Was the president distinguished?
President's distinguished.
Yep.
The highest level available to a club. President's distinguished, yes.
From 5 members to president distinguished, 6 months.
That
Aiming
was
at least 15
very,
people.
very fun to watch. Normally, this kind of workshop would be really dry. I'd stand up here and just say a bunch of stuff, and you guys would listen. But I understand that listening, hearing me speak, doesn't make it sink in. It doesn't help you. What does is experience. So we're going to do 2 things today. We're going to talk about listening, because if you can't listen, you can't mentor. And we're going to talk about mentoring. So you have the tools that it takes to go out and take care of your club in the same way that you would like to be taken care of. And if you're not mentored right now, you're going to find out what it's like to be mentored tonight as well. So we're going to cover quite a bit of stuff. I will give you plenty of time to ask questions and plenty of time to interact in this group tonight. Before I begin, all of you have a book on your chair, and you could have picked it up. If you don't have a pen, you can grab a pen from the jar on the back table. Hi, Riza. Come on in, sit down anywhere you're comfortable. On the cover of this book is a quote that happens to be my mentor's favorite quote. And I know this because at the contest where she was competing, the contestants were asked to fill out a section of their profile that said, what's your favorite quote? And this one was on it. And this quote is really the theme of this workshop. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it's taken place. This quote has been evident in my life since I became a Toastmaster, and I even did some retro thinking and realizing it's been evident in my life all along. This quote means when you talk to another human being, you believe they get it. The illusion is you believe they understood you. The first order of business in listening is to figure out, did that other person get it? Or was it just an illusion? And that's why this quote is on the front of your notebook. So we're going to do a very fun, quick listening exercise. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to open the notebook that you have to the last page. Okay, everybody? Linnea, did you open yours?
No, I'm not. I'm just an observer.
Excellent. Lawrence, please come up. Several of the books in the room had a different label on them. They didn't say just raise your hand. They said raise your hand and then stand up. And he, being a lucky person tonight, you get one of the resource CDs.
Nice.
Being a lucky guy, it's kind of like a raffle drawing. That has all of the documentation for today. It has a lot of the resources as a mentor that you would find helpful to you in mentoring someone. It also has both of the Better Speaker Series and Leadership Success Series downloaded onto it, so you don't have to download it from the Toastmasters International. Thank you for playing. When you hear someone tell you something, a couple things happen. You pause, usually. You think about what they said, and then you respond. In those seconds that you respond, you are deciphering a lot of information. You're not necessarily just hearing words. One of the quotes that I looked at today said, nobody really listens. Everybody hears, but nobody really listens. Because hearing is physical, and listening is not physical at all. Listening comes from within you, from your mind, from your attitude, from where you're at in the room, and from where you're at in your life. And we're going to do a couple of things tonight that is going to help you understand that better. If I were to stand up here and tell you a whole lot of things about me, you're only going to hear some of them because your mind is going to go elsewhere. I'm going to tell you something interesting, and your mind's going to travel off onto that thing, and then you'll come back. But in the meantime, while you're traveling, excuse me, you're going to miss something. So a focused listener, a one-on-one listener, somebody listening to you talk, whether you're being coached or you are coaching, that one-on-one needs to be tunnel vision to be effective. Really tunnel vision. Now that's not always easy to do. It's not always available to you. If you meet your mentors at a coffee shop, there's noise, interruptions, the waiter, the waitress, PA system, the ambient noise is out there. So you have to use a lot of your personal skill set to know what's being said. It's extremely important when you're mentoring somebody to listen to things that are not being said. What is that person not saying? With their body English, something they infer but they don't tell you the whole story. What are they not saying that you can help them with? Maybe the sound of their voice. You hear a tremble. You hear a discomfort, even when you're talking one-on-one. Those tools help you to become a better mentor. So listening is one of the most important things you can learn how to do. Okay, this is going to be fun. I want you not to write a single word down. Do not write anything. All I want you to do is listen. No writing on your computer, no writing in your notebook. Just listen. I'm going to talk, you're going to listen. Then you're going to write down, after I'm all done talking, you're going to write down as many things as you hear me say about myself. And then we're going to see where we come to at the end, okay? Very well. Here we go. My name is Circe Denyer. Yes, it's my real name. It wasn't the only name my parents were going to name me. One of the names was Megara, excuse me, I always want to say Megala. Why is that? Because I don't really like Megara either. But my mother had a rule. No names that can be shortened into something that she didn't like. And she hated Meg. So Megara was out and not on the boards. I'm the second of 3 kids. I was born a year and a half after my brother and 2.5 years before my sister. My sister and I shared a room. I didn't really like that because I palled around with my brother and she wasn't a whole lot of fun. She wasn't anything like me. I joined Toastmasters not because I needed to speak well, not because I was uncomfortable in front of a room. I got that over with in high school, so that was not it. I joined Toastmasters for reasons that I saw in other people at the spring conference that I was invited to long before I became a Toastmaster. The reason my growth in Toastmasters is accelerated is my mentor told me about a plan that every Toastmaster has out in front of them called Distinguished Toastmaster. And me, I wanted to be the best. That's my competitive nature. I wanted to be the best at what I could be. So I conceived that it would be taking me a while, because I didn't want to push myself really, really fast. But I did want to push myself. I did want to excel in this organization that I wanted to join. So I joined a club that I really thought I liked, really thought I'd do well in. But what happened? My ability to excel was not there. Couldn't do it. Now, why was that? There were a lot of people in that club who were also excelling. Why didn't I? Well, because I felt that there was so much going on in that club that I needed more room. I needed room to do that. So, without saying a word, I continued to go to that club and fit myself in as much as I could. Speak when I could, get things done. But I sought speaking elsewhere. And I took every opportunity I could to speak. And that was at test demos, where I was the test speaker, or I was actually the demo speaker. I was test speaker at a couple of contests. I completed my CC, not necessarily in a club, but, and especially not in the club that I started. I live, breathe, and enjoy Toastmasters so much, I wish I could quit my day job. Okay, go ahead, write down as many things as you can remember that I said in that. People are really
I can still go.
It could still go, great. How many had at least 10 things?
Yeah.
10?
I think so.
Okay, how many had more than 10 things? Okay. How many had more than 15?
I may have, I'm not sure. I put everything into sentence form.
Yeah, that's what I did.
How many had 6? Okay. Of those of you that had 10 or more, how many of those do you think were accurate? You think they're really accurate, right? Okay, Mike, you're my guinea pig.
Okay.
All right, tell me what you heard.
Okay. Your name is Circe Denyer,
Okay,
Denyer.
okay,
Your parents wanted to name you Magala. I'm
okay.
not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And, well, I know they did not want a name that could be shortened, that could be a nick. You cannot get a nickname out of it.
Okay, yeah,
You're the second of 3 children,
uh-huh.
and I'm not sure, you said 2.5 years on one side and 1.5 years on the other, but I'm not sure which was, how far you are from your sister, and you have a brother.
Okay,
You palled around with your brother more than your sister? Because your sister was not much fun?
you were listening. Okay,
And you shared a bedroom with your sister?
uh-huh.
And then, I know there was a big gap, and that escapes me, but you joined Toastmasters not to get over your fear of public speaking,
Okay,
because you handled that already in high school,
okay,
and you wanted to be the best, and that would be distinguished,
uh-huh.
and you chose as many speaking opportunities as you could,
Okay,
and that was about it.
excellent. Who in the room can tell me which one of these is wrong?
Let's see, was it Magala or Megara? Megara.
You got it.
Megara. I didn't
Very
pronounce it
good.
right.
Because
But
she
you
was
didn't,
lost, because she didn't want
and it'd
to
be called Maggie.
Meg.
Oh,
Meg.
yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. I said this one first, and then
Yeah.
I corrected it.
I knew it was
I
on Harvard
always
for
do
pronunciation.
that.
Good pronunciation, lady.
That's what's stuck in my mind.
Excellent, though. He picked up on a lot of the subtleties, a lot of the little things, the side comments I made. This is a very important listening skill. When somebody makes side comments, not direct factual statements, and you don't hear them, you miss their personality. That's my opinion, and I'll stand on it. When I mentor somebody, when I'm listening to them, when I'm talking to them for the first time, I have them fill out this form. I recommend that every Vice President of Education see to it that every new member fill out one of these forms and get it to the mentor. This form tells you who that person is, what they like, what they don't like, and this is extremely valuable to you as a mentor. Here you go, Risa. If you have not filled one of these out for your mentor, you should, because mentoring is a two-way street. I don't remember where I was, because I'm having a senior moment at this moment. But somebody asked me in a table topics question, I believe, what is your responsibility in the mentoring situation if you're the mentee? What's your responsibility? Believe it or not, the mentee is more responsible for that coaching session than the mentor. The mentor has responsibilities and duties, but the mentee has tremendous responsibility. The mentee needs to communicate with the mentor, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I want, and this is what I don't want. So if the mentor starts to take that person on a path that's their path, and that mentee is not ready for that path, and that mentee says nothing, there's an irresponsible break in that relationship. However, the responsibility of the mentor is to recognize that. Look at the person's face. If you are sitting with your mentee and you say, you can go all the way to Distinguished Toastmaster, and you see pained look on their face, that's not their path. Their path may be, I just want to stop shaking in front of the room. And you need to wait and let that mentee find their comfort zone, learn what they can get out of it. Maybe they don't want that at all. Maybe they just want to smooth out their speaking. That's okay too, because Toastmasters is designed primarily to meet the needs of one entity, and that's the member. Not the mentor, not the president, not the VPE, and not anybody else. Certainly not higher up in Toastmasters. It's to meet the needs of individual people. And the only way we can meet their needs is to know what it is they want and know what it is they don't want. And how do you get there? By knowing what they said, by listening to what they said. Okay? When I choose a mentor to pair up with a mentee or a brand new Toastmaster, when I choose a pairing, a lot goes into my decision. I will not, if I have a choice, I will not let somebody mentor somebody that I do not feel is ready because they have not done anything that shows me that they have what it takes to cradle a brand new member into a very secure, solid, excited, passionate Toastmaster. And why would I do that? Because that's who I am. That's my bent. That's what I want out of every mentor that's in my club. I want every mentor to be matched up with people so that their personalities match, so they know that that person is going to believe that they can do it all and that Toastmasters can do it for them. That's what I want. That's what I want for everyone. But if I have someone who is only wanting to mentor because they can write it down on their book and say they did it, they're not ready. Not in my book. They're not ready. Yes, it's happened. Do I like it? No. If I can prevent it, I will. That's just me. I'm Vice President of Education, and I take my job seriously. Education is what a lot of people get out of Toastmasters, but it's not something they know that they're going to get when they sign on the dotted line. And it may not be the most expensive speech learning club in the world, but it is the most proficient. It's better than all the rest. Now, I say that unequivocally because I know that there are companies out there doing this for a living. I know there are speech coaches out there, and I've seen them work, and they're targeted, and they've got good things going for them. But we have something better. We have heart. We care so much that you guys succeed that we evaluate you. We evaluate your speaking. The mentor's job is to educate their mentor, their mentee, to let them know that that's a positive in their life, because it could be scary. It's a positive to come to the meetings and be a timer. It's a positive to do your icebreaker within the first month of your membership. Those kinds of things come from people who are energetic, enthusiastic, and when they give blood, it comes out red and blue. That's what I want. That's my high idea. That's what I want when people say, I want to be a mentor. Well, I want you to be a mentor too, but I want you to be a mentor in the way that helps the member, not yourself. Because it's the selfless mentor that does the best job. Okay? All right, we're going to do another exercise. But this time, I'm going to ask a volunteer. I would like, you want to be my volunteer?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, great.
Should I come up or?
Yes, please come up here. We're going to do the same exercise. It's going to be a little bit different. Come on up here and stand with me. It's going to be a little bit different in that I'm going to ask Glenn questions and you're going to listen. Again, no writing till we're done. This time, though, I do not want you watching Glenn. I want you closing your eyes. And when your eyes are closed, I want you to imagine you're laying on the beach, out at Zuma or somewhere, under an umbrella. You can hear the ocean, so you're really close to it. That's all I want you to think about. I want you to concentrate on the waves. I want you to concentrate on the lapping of the waves on the ocean. I want you to hear the ocean. I want you to feel the air on your face. I do not want you watching Glenn. Glenn and my conversation is going to be in the periphery. Okay, it's kind of like eavesdropping while you're at the beach, okay? Everybody eyes closed. Hi, Glenn.
Hello.
Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you, Circe.
What made you start Elite Business Systems?
Elite business
Or
professionals. I started Toastmasters in July of 2011. And when I joined for professional reasons.
Oh, okay.
But I noticed as the club I was originally in, as you had stated, the one you were in, wasn't something that was going to help me get towards that. So I visited other clubs and other clubs. About 10 different clubs, but I noticed that nobody was talking about their business. So I went up to the district governor and I gave her my concept and she said, Glenn, that's a great idea.
How long did it take you to charter that club?
We started at the end of November, just before Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and we had our first chartered meeting on March of 2015.
December and 5 months.
Yes.
Were you scared that it
What?
wouldn't charter?
No, I was not
You
scared.
knew it was going to,
Well, the funny thing was this.
okay?
The district governor didn't know at the time, and neither did I. We had 23 members, and I thought we were chartered.
Okay.
So I went ahead and gaveled and said, guess what? We're all chartered. Bang! And then I went over to her house and she goes, oops, you're supposed to have 17 new members and you have to split up equally. And so that...
So you had 12 and 11?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And you didn't know that?
I didn't know it till she said, you're not chartered.
I see. Okay.
That was February.
Now that you've chartered, how many members do you have?
We have, I would like to say officially because of people who've actually re-signed up on their dues, let's go with 28.
28 members.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have met your goal for membership for this term, right? This go around?
I was actually shooting for 30, still might get there.
Right, but you've met your goal for the DCP, correct?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, Circe.
How many points do you have in the DCP?
We have 5 points at the present.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Glenn. Okay, everybody.
Gosh, you give a little more applause than that, come on.
They didn't
Same
hear ya.
exercise. Write down as many things as you heard Glenn say. Harder.
Yes. Yes.
Why was it harder? Yeah, what else?
Distractions?
Distractions, absolutely. What distracted you the most? So Glenn distracted you from what you were doing. My own critique. How do you feel that distractions can change how you would listen to a brand new Toastmaster when they're telling you what they want? What distractions would you come up with, happen to you while you were trying to listen to them?
I would interrupt and pitch in a couple of ideas of my own.
Ah, you would interject ideas of your own. Does that make them distracted, or how does that fit into this?
My mentees would write things down, it's a good idea, but if they have something going on, they
Okay,
want to share, then it kind of puts them a little bit off track. And then
Yes.
sometimes if you want to pick up where you want left off, you forget all about it.
however, that's true. Your mentee has distractions too. What I'm talking about here is our distractions in listening. Our distractions. We're assigned to listen. We're assigned to that mentee to find out what they want, what they don't want, what they like, and what they don't like. What do they like about their current state? What don't they like about it? What do they want out of Toastmasters? What don't they want out of Toastmasters? What do they know about Toastmasters? What don't they know? That time has to be, we have to be free of distractions. If your mentee is distracted, they're really not distracted except in that they don't know how to communicate with you yet. So it's not really a distraction. What it is, it's a comfort thing. They're not comfortable with you yet. Yes, Glenn?
Oh, I was just gonna say, what you naturally do, which is you're asking questions. So sometimes you may find yourself kind of be drifting, that's what I said, like one of the waves, something like that. And to get yourself back into focus, maybe you just missed something, you just want to ask a question real quick, just to get you back into it so you're not distracted.
Okay. That reminds me of something very, very important. Really important. If somebody asks me a question, I need to have enough time to answer that question comfortably. Let's say I'm brand new and I now have this mentor that I do not know except that they were at the club with me. And that mentor asks me, so, what do you want to get out of Toastmasters? I may pause and I may say, I have no idea. Do you know that at the president's breakfast, Janet Walters got up in front of the room to a room of presidents of Toastmasters and asked that question, and every single response was met with a, everyone, none of them could do it. Quick, she said, quick, quick, quick. You can see it in the video. Quick, tell me, 1 or 2 sentences, anything, just respond. Blank. That is a very difficult question to ask anyone that doesn't know what it's all about. So, in this case, I would recommend that you don't ask that question. Not at first, please. Look at the profile that they filled out and say, wow, I didn't know. I can't imagine you like something I like. Or, why do you like horseback riding? I didn't know anybody who does that anymore. Something on their profile should trigger the conversation. Because the conversation is about the member. It's not about me. It's not about their career in Toastmasters. It's about them. And when you get them to talk about them, you get something that you're going to use to mentor them. When I first met Mike, and I've known you about a year now, right? When I first met Mike, every day I met him, every day I talked to him, I found out something new. Something new about him. I found out that he was really into AV at one point. Well, that became interesting to me because I like gadgets. But in Mike's sessions, when I was Mike's mentor, when we talked and he told me about his career before he retired, I could see how his icebreaker, his get to the point, his organized speech, his all the way to the end of the process could be spoken through things he was already really comfortable with. I did not make that up. It did not happen because I told him things. It didn't happen because I told him about Toastmasters. It happened because he told me about Mike. So when he started talking about his icebreaker and he had an idea, I could encourage him with those ideas because I knew those were comfortable zones of speaking for him. One of the key things you can do for your mentee is to listen. Listen to the things they're not saying, listen to the things they are saying, and help them to move forward at the pace they want in their own comfort zone, where they're comfortable. If you are new to Toastmasters, and I know Risa is, and you're not getting your needs met, or you're not moving as forward as fast, make sure you mention that to your mentor. That's one of those things I don't like, that is on the list. Find out what they like, find out what they don't like, find out what they want, find out what they don't want, find out what they know, find out what they don't know. Always find out those things because they become tools in your time together, in your coaching together. You really have the opportunity to create a really good experience for every member when you do those things. So you listen first, then you write things down, then you listen again and you write more things down. And then as you talk about them and you talk about what they like, when they're finished with that, you can talk about what they like and how it matches up with what Toastmasters offers. And it becomes a marriage. It becomes a togetherness. If you don't do that, that mentee might think, well, this isn't for me. That person's talking about this thing called Distinguished Toastmaster. I don't even know what that is, but I'm not interested in that. I can't stand up in front of a room and talk for 2 minutes on my own without shaking and feeling like I'm going to pass out. This person isn't listening. So listening is your primary goal in mentoring. Primary goal. Okay? So you're going to use your new profile sheet with your mentee to find out who that is. Find out what they like, what they don't like. You can ask questions for clarity. For example, when I was talking to Glenn, and you guys were distracted, and I'm going to do a similar exercise in a minute. When I was talking to Glenn, I asked him questions for clarity. I wanted to know how he perceived his club. I wanted to know how he felt about his club. I wanted to know what it felt like to be chartering a brand new club and what that time span, because November, December, January, February, March, wow. To me, instantly I know that takes a long time. Okay, how'd you feel about that? I'd be nervous. So I asked the question. That gives me something that I didn't have before, and that is a step inside his room, inside his comfort zone. I became comfortable in his comfort zone with him. He knows that I was interested because I asked a targeted question about something he said about himself. That's the other thing you want to do. When you're listening, you hear those things, and when you hear those things and you act on them, and you ask questions that make them talk more, you get more out of it. They get more out of it. It's much, much better. So that's important. You don't have to use any fancy methods of listening to get this done. Just be willing. That's where I divert from some of the formalized listening tools. There's make this, use acronyms, try to remember. Well, I know this. If you're interested in somebody, you're going to remember something about them. If you're interested in what they have to say and you've commented back, the action of commenting back engages you and your mind will remember. So one of my mentees came to me and he said, I do not know what I'm going to speak about. I have 5 ideas written down. None of them suit me. I don't have any idea. I said, okay. That's all I said. Okay. Well, what am I going to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? Well, I'm comfortable talking about this. Well, then that's what you're going to talk about. Well, why is that? Because it's allowed, and you don't have any rules. You don't have to talk about only certain things. You can talk about anything you want. So as a mentor, do not channel anybody, please. That's for other organizations. There are no rules, believe it or not, on the icebreaker. There's one rule. Stand up in front of the room and talk for 4 to 6 minutes. Period. You do not have to talk about yourself. So if you have a mentee who's extremely shy and talking about themselves makes them more nervous, ask them what they like to do for a living. Ask them what they like to do for fun. Ask them about their favorite color, hobby, something. Get them to start to talk. And as you get them to talk and they start to become more comfortable and you realize that subject is not very difficult for them, you say, wow, that would make a great icebreaker. You've just given them the tools they need to do their icebreaker. You don't have to have them talk about themselves. It's very, very important that you understand that because people believe that their mentor is a rule maker.